This is an open letter for NPR. My friends at the NPR, National Public Radio, we love you guys. We listen to you guys all the time, but I felt necessary to, bring up a couple of things. A few days ago, I was listening to NPR, which is the case as usual, and an expert, a so-called expert, came on. Charles something, and Mr. Charles Chuck from the Middle Eastern Institute, started extruding his opinion from one of his holes regarding Afghanistan, and he was introduced because he was introduced as a Middle Eastern expert from the Middle East Institute in Washington, D.C. Okay. Charles. A guy named Charles. A pink skin named Charles, who's originally from England, now residing in Washington, D.C., and he has opinions about the fucking Middle East, in specific Afghanistan, and we have to hear about it. Folks, you're treating my friends at the NPR, you're treating the rest of the world like you're treating the virus and the bacteria. When we want to hear about the virus and the bacteria, you bring on Dr. Anthony Fauci, great man, and he tells us that, yes, how should we treat the virus and the bacteria, and when we should eliminate them, how we should, keep away from them, how we should sanitize, how we should exterminate the bacteria, and how we should eliminate the bacteria, and how we should sterilize the bacteria, and well, I understand that. He's a human, and those are bacteria and viruses, and he is explaining how we should eliminate them. And if tomorrow morning all the viruses and all the bacteria on planet Earth are eliminated, it would be the happiest day of Dr. Anthony Fauci's life. Well, metaphorically speaking, there are many good bacteria. But the point is this: the guy is talking from a human's perspective, examining a bacteria and virus and saying how we should treat those motherfuckers so these motherfuckers, humans, would stay happy and healthy. Well, you're doing the same thing with the rest of the planet, the rest of humans on the planet, when you bring a pink skin from a pink skin land who has no stake anywhere else in the world, no roots, no stake, doesn't get paid, he doesn't make his paycheck from anywhere else in the world, he doesn't have family anywhere else in the world, he doesn't give a fuck about anywhere else in the world. If tomorrow morning a big rock from the space lands in the middle of Middle East and evaporates the whole region, Charles would not lose his lunch. What kind of but so you're treating the rest of the planet, people, humans living in the rest of the planet, as you're treating the virus. Sort of like we have an expert on the virus, Dr. Anthony Fauci, and we have an expert on those animals who live on other places on this planet. His name is Charles from Washington, D.C. He's an expert on those animals. Folks, there is a better way to do this. You call, there's such thing as a phone, and then there's Zoom, and then there's Skype, and all kinds of communications available, visual and, also available, that you can call, you can contact experts who are actually living in the fucking place, working there, raising a family there, and you can ask them what they think is best for them. You want to be sophisticated about it? Well, all these countries have a capital, and in all their capital cities, at least they have one university that has at least one political science department. There is always a head of a political science department. You want to be sophisticated about it, you pick up the fucking phone and you call the head of the political science department in University of Damascus in Syria, and ask him what he thinks, how best we should move forward so the Syrian people would, can stay alive. What he thinks is the best idea with regards to Syria. You call the head of the political science in Pyongyang in North Korea and you say, hey, dude, what do you think is the best forward for the people of North Korea? How we should treat the people of North Korea? How we can, coexist more peacefully together? You actually get the opinion of experts who have something to lose, who have skin in the game. Charles doesn't have a skin in the game. Well, he has his skin in the game. He's got his foreskin in the game. He just got off with Northrop Grumman. Just gave him a blowjob this morning, and at lunch you call him and ask him about his opinion about Middle East. He's getting a hand job by Boeing and Raytheon, and you call him and ask him about his opinions about Middle East? Of course he's going to say, let's bomb them. Let's use these $150,000 a piece bombs and blow those motherfuckers because I'm getting a great blowjob here. And that's your expert? And that's everybody, and this is NPR. This is something that everybody, this is something that the, supposedly the most impartial, the most sophisticated news organization in the land brings a pink skin expert from a pink skin country to give his views about how to deal with those brown skins and the black skins and the yellow skins. Well, thank you very much. According to these pink skins, we have the pink skins have to bomb everybody out of existence because they're all viruses and bacteria and they all should be eliminated, period. Because Raytheon gives a great blowjob to Chuck. Folks, all these countries, all these nations around the world, on this planet they all have political science experts. And they all can speak English. You call them in their own home countries, you tell them, you ask them, hey, what do you think would be the best thing to do for the people of Syria? Instead of depending on the word of some guy from East Texas who comes in and says, I know what's best for the fucking Arabs, let's give them freedom. We're gonna bomb them to freedom. Instead of taking his word for it, you call the University of Baghdad in Iraq, the head of the political science department, and you say, hey, how should we deal with Saddam? What do you think is best way forward? Of course, he's not going to say, let's bomb us because I like to see my women and children getting blown up. He's going to say, well, why don't you cooperate with this cocksucker, Saddam? You come down and he comes down and you come down and he comes down and you fucking negotiate something on the fucking table. You sit down and hammer out and negotiate something, hammer out an understanding. More tourists, more exchange, more trade, more tourists, more trade, more tourists, more trade, until, you know, when there are 50,000 Americans living in Baghdad as tourists, and there is such a volume of trade between the United States and Iraq, then nobody has to fucking go to war. Raytheon is not going to sell any bombs, but then, and Charles is not going to get a blowjob from Raytheon. But then maybe Charles can find another job and Raytheon can, you know, go into the business of space instead of business of blowing things up. Folks, it's just, and you guys, NPR, are the intellectuals of this outfit. Calling Washington D.C. some think tank in Washington D.C. run by some pinkskins, paid for by some pinkskins, and asking them about the fucking blackskins of Angola and how we should treat them is as silly as, you know, having a hurricane threatening Florida, and you guys call Maine and ask them how you should handle Florida. You understand how silly that is? It's sort of like the expert sitting in Maine running his mouth about Florida. Does that make sense to you? Or expert sitting in Florida running his mouth about how they should handle the fires in California. Does that make sense to you? If it doesn't make sense to you to do it in your own land, it doesn't make sense to do it globally. To depend on the opinions of experts who have no skin in the game, have nothing to lose, may have read a couple of books about those shitholes, may have written a couple of books about those shitholes. But whether those shitholes stay or get wiped out off the face of earth, it doesn't make any difference in their life. If you're thinking of, you know, treating those shitholes, if you're thinking of treating those shitholes as you treat, you know, viruses and bacteria, fine, go right ahead. But they're not virus and bacteria. They have a voice. They have people who are, you know, sophisticated in political science, then they speak English, and you can call them. And you can talk to them. And they will tell you what's the best way forward. And I think their opinion is much more important than the opinion of some pink skin sitting in another place in the world getting paid by other pink skins with no attachment to those people over there, and he knows what's best for those people over there, although he has no skin over there, no skin in the game over there, he has no roots over there, he has no understanding, real understanding of over there. Meanwhile, there are people who over there who have roots there, who have real understanding of there, but you don't want to talk to them. Because, you know, who wants to talk to the virus and the bacteria? I'm sorry, NPR. And then you're wondering why people are misinformed and why people don't trust the news organizations. These are your experts. And Charles was running his mouth and saying how, yes, we should, that they are all terrorists. We should stay there. He's a fucking British guy. Ex-British guy. Current British guy. A dual citizen. Still, from what dual citizen between one pink skin land and another pink skin land. He couldn't give a flying fuck about the brown skins and the black skins if he wanted to. Being expert at something and then wanting that something to, flourish and thrive and, live in peace and harmony is two different things. Dr. Anthony Fauci, as I said, is not interested in seeing the bacteria and virus live peacefully and flourish and thrive. And if you have any doubts, you look at the history and you find out that the pink skins of European origins were never interested in moving to Americas and then seeing the locals thrive and flourish. No, they eliminated the locals. This is how the British, the French, these European pink skins perspective is simple. It's sort of we good, they bad, eliminate them so we good can go in, take over. Australia, North America, South America, New Zealand, South Africa, West Asia. Pink skin good. Whoever else is the other side is bad. Pink skin goes in, eliminates the other side, takes over. End of story. And we only want to hear pink skin opinion on how best we pink skins should handle those fucking brown skins and the black skins and the yellow skins. How we have to handle them. Well, they don't want to be handled. They want to coexist peacefully. And in order for the whole thing to coexist peacefully, you should contact their political science leaders and ask their opinions about how best to move forward so everybody can live peacefully, if that is your interest. However, if you're also getting paid by Raytheon, well, that's a different story. Unfortunate.